Yeah, so first I would like to welcome you and thank you for your time, Marcos, donating your time to share your successful experience in your validation process here in Australia.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and just to break the ice a little bit, I'd just like to know, before you come to Australia, yeah, please just introduce yourself a little bit, where you're from, what did you used to do back in where you were just before coming to Australia.
Yeah, okay. So I'm civil engineer. I finished my degree in Universidade Federal do Rio Grande do Sul, in Porto Alegre, in 2017. After that, I start work with performance analysis, building performance analysis. And after that, I start working at council in a city in Santa Catarina. And since the beginning, the plan is to come to Australia. So I arrived in Australia in 2019, July, with a partner visa with my missus, my girlfriend. And because she finished already, she was doing a master here in marketing. So I got the partner visa. And during this time, I was thinking about validating my diploma since the beginning, but I didn't start. And that's why your tutoring was important to me, because I started to put my hands on the process.
Yes. So, and when did you actually arrive here in Australia? Sorry.
When?
Yeah.
Yeah, in July 2019.
July 2019. And then your missus came studying a master's degree. So yes. I'm assuming that you could work actually 40 hours.
Exactly right. It was a third time. I was working a lot. Now it's pretty quiet now. Yeah. I'm happy with that. So I started my journey. Huh?
And you are in Sydney. You live in Sydney?
Yeah, in Sydney all the time. And I'm planning move to South Australia now with the validation under my arm. Yeah. So I'm applying already for new positions.
Yeah, and you were doing what when you arrived back in 2019?
Yeah, so as usual for overseas people, I started working in construction sites as labor. Yeah. So I started as labor, but I use my skill knowledge in civil engineer for go forward, and I end up working as leading hand in a construction site.
Great. Yeah.
So a little bit close to civil engineer stuff, but of course with the validate. So
yes,
it was pretty hard, work a lot, but was a good time as well.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure that when you're working as a laborer and leading hand, you were then thinking about, I could be the engineer of this project.
100%.
And then that experience probably just kind of poking you, I need to get my engineering degree validated.
Exactly.
And then how did you get to know me? Do you remember? Or
I don't remember. Maybe advertising Facebook, I think. Yeah. I don't remember, because as I say, since the beginning, I was thinking about validate my diploma, and I knew the process and how hard could be for me work at the same time doing the process. So write the career results and, at night and whatever.
Yeah.
So I was looking for help since the beginning, and you appeared for me, and I assessed your
okay.
process.
yeah. All right. And did you end up watching some of my content in YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc.?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And what did you think when you kind of first? Because obviously, when I started this in 2019, I never never recorded videos. I can see my first video today. Oh, it's so horrible. My daughter was so embarrassed. But I said, well, no, it's better to start than nothing. I always wanted to share. So apart from the quality,
no.
what did you think?
I started watching your free videos on YouTube. And it was very good at was exactly what I'm looking for. And the platform, the website of Engineers of Australia was very good for me. The classes, I can learn exactly about the competencies. It's pretty hard. It's one part of the process is you understand the process. So it's very good, the classes.
And obviously, you joined my mentoring program, but before joining my mentoring program, what was your biggest fear before joining my online mentoring program? Do you remember? Or did you have any?
Yeah, I think it's more than one, but in fear is a good word. But my main concern was about how Engineers Australia would evaluate my experience. My fear is about maybe it's not good enough or it's not strong enough. And in my case, I use some career episode from my university. So from my work from the university. So that's what I think was a good decision, because as you can see, when you start study in Brazil, civil engineer is more generalist than here. So correct. You can make a mistake write a career episode, focus on things about another classification of the profession.
Things that
are
not quite
you can write about geotechnical engineer, and actually you are applying for civil engineer. So the outcome can be negative. So that's my fear as well. One of. And then I went back to my emails and all my documentation, and I saw that on the 8th of February 2021, you joined my mentoring group. So what did make you to decide to be part of the Validation Formula mentoring program? What did make you to kind of hit the button and I'll join the program? It's a good question. I think I have studied the process, but I didn't start. So I think what's like a feeling. I need this for start the process. I need this for start write. I need this for start watch something and push me on the process. So that's why it's I don't know. I was waiting for something, and
you were
waiting, nothing happens.
Yes, if you wait, nothing happens. You were like me, probably just procrastinating.
Of course, probably, and because now we apply for a postgraduate visa, so we have works for rights for works with no restrictions.
No restriction,
So my idea was have the validation before start this time. So we got 2 years more for start working or IRA. So that's good stuff.
And then obviously you joined our program. You watch all my classes there in the platform. You participate in the groups and the live sessions and everything else. You probably used those massive spreadsheets and wrote many things in there, took notes. How much did that kind of help in your process in terms of organizing your ideas and so on?
The first thing, organizing the ideas, because I think first of all, you need to choose one experience and write about that. So if you just look for a university, for the people who will just end up the university and have no experience in companies or whatever, you have a lot of disciplines for think about. You not have a lot of assessments for think about. So what can be the good story for a career episode.
Yes.
So this helps a lot. And this is a part of organization. Yeah. So you need to organize what is better for right.
Yeah.
And this is the first step, I think. And the other part was like, you gave me outcomes about my career episodes. So I all the time ask you about, this is a good experience. What do you think? I can write like this. The introduction is good. The professional skill is good. The summary is complete or no. So which paragraph I need to use, everything. So it was very important.
Yeah.
I could organize everything.
Yeah, good. Well, that's how the mentoring works,
Exactly.
I'm here to help my students and making sure that you guys going to be able to, because everything is up in your head. Everything that you put in your application was everything that was already in your head. I just kind of helped to organize the information to put in the paper.
Yes, of course.
Yes. So you read the booklet. I think everybody that is wanting to validate probably read the booklet once, twice, 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But probably because you were procrastinating or you haven't started, was the reading a friendly reading, or did you understand most of it?
You can read the booklet and go to the bed and do nothing and then the next day. So I read the booklet sometimes before the mentoring. Yeah. So read the booklet. It's part of the process, but you need to apply what you are reading. So for example, the competencies, it's crazy. You think about the 16 competencies. If you read one competence and read another one, sounds similar.
Yes.
So what's the difference between one and another? So
what examples to use in each competency?
you can use. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff, because the mentoring give an explanation about each competence and why it's similar or why it's not similar, or it's similar. You can use the same paragraph, so you can put more things in your career episode.
Yeah, that's remember that
you can make your career episode stronger. So
remember when I talk about optimized paragraphs.
Of course.
And pretty sure that people that listening to your testimony, there are many people that they having the same problem. They read the booklet, they probably procrastinating as well, or they're not really understanding the difference between one competency and another. They probably don't know what examples to use to address those competencies. For those ones that probably having the same difficulty that you had, if you could give them a hint about the validation process, what would that hint be? What would that advice be?
Stop procrastination and start the mentoring.
All right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I am a good advice.
It is a good advice. Yeah. Well, you part of
no. Yeah. Talking serious. It's the best way for a start, dude. It's the best way. So it's like you do a new skill assessment. It's like you do assessment from your school. From your company. You need to start, you need to try, you need to have a person for ask if it's a good moment for put something in the career episode, or if it's not, if the experience is good. You need some people for help you sometimes, because it's hard to do by yourself when you have to work, when you have to think about a lot of things. So I think it's like a short way for finish the process.
Yes. Yeah, and obviously there are people that they can do everything by themselves, and I take my hat for those people, because it's really difficult. Then there are those people that they need a little bit of push, and there are those people that are going to give up and will never do it. So and I'm here for the second group. If you're not sure you know what needs to do, but you're not quite sure, you need a little bit of a push, I'm here to help. And not just with my mentoring program, but just with the content. I've got so many people that ring me saying, Gerson, I watch your videos in YouTube and you help me so much, and I managed to validate my qualification. Great. You still managed to help them. I just didn't know there was helping. But that's very good advice. And now that you have your qualification validated, you are validated civil engineer here in Australia. Does it change anything? What do you think it changes in your life that now you are validated civil engineer in Australia?
Change a lot of things. I think give me more engagement for try to apply for positions here, because I was stuck. I was thinking about that. If I apply for a position, maybe the hiring people or the recruitment team can ask me about where is your
validation.
Your diploma is validated or recognized by Engineers Australia. So I was a little bit like, no, first I will validate, and I will like jump off this part. I don't want to ask this. I don't want to make one more barrier in the possible position interview or job interview. So this is done. So good. So now I'm applying a lot of jobs. It's pretty hard for me now because I'm applying for another city because I'm planning to move. So I'm here in Sydney applying for jobs in South Australia. It's a little bit hard than stay in South Australia and apply there. So, but I'm applying. Before, I'm not applying for nothing.
Yes, and
nothing.
And you're going to and you're applying to South Australia because it's a regional area. It can probably give you better chances to get a chance for a permanent visa in the future. And that's usually the ultimate goal for engineers. Obviously, it's very good to validate the qualification, to be recognized as an engineer, but this gives the eligibility, the prerequisite to apply for a visa that will perhaps allow you to live in Australia indefinitely.
It's another thing done. When you apply for a skill visa, after you work in your area, the skill assessment is done.
It's done.
So good.
Very good. And even next week, I'm going to interview another colleague of you in the mentoring program, Alison. I was talking to him just to organize the interview next week. And as you know, I've got a friend that he's looking for some engineers, and I thought about Alison because he's an electronics engineer. And then I asked him, Alison, I know that you're in Sydney, but perhaps if we get a job here, I'm willing to move to Brisbane. And then he said, Gerson, after my validation, he was working in IKEA as a proper general labor. And he said, I got promoted in IKEA. Now I'm a TI, technology information engineer. So
look at that.
Yes, because he's been validated and IKEA recognized his effort and promoted him. So he said, thanks for the offer, but I've got a job already as an engineer here.
Look at that. Thanks for the offer.
Yes, thanks for the offer. I spoke with Danielle as well, and she's a recognized mining engineer. And she said, no, I've got already, I'm working the area, I'm working mining in a consulting firm. So the validation certainly opens doors to more opportunities.
Exactly.
All right. No, thank you very much, Marcos. And again, congratulations for your validation. And I certainly wish you all the best in your job applications and your move to South Australia. And I'm pretty sure that you'll be very successful with your experience, with your curriculum, and your skills as well.
Thank you very much, Gerson. Thank you very much.
That's okay. Thank you. And we'll certainly catch up.
See ya.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, that was certainly a very good story with MARCOS. He's a very good, dedicated student. He followed the process and methodology, and I had no doubts that his application was going to be successful. Okay, so now is the time for me to probably choose somebody. I said that I was going to do the interview tonight. I was going to answer some questions, and I was going to give away 15 minutes of free consulting. For those ones that joined a little bit later, for you to be able to get the chance to get the 15 minutes free consulting tonight, you just need to go to my Instagram post, the free 15 minutes consulting, like the post, answer the question in the comments, and mark somebody. And if you do this, you will be running the draw, the sorteio in a software here. So I will be answering some questions. So probably 10 minutes of answering the questions that I received this week. And in the meantime, if you haven't, I'll show you again, if you haven't put your answer to the questions in the post, you've got another 10 or 15 minutes, and then I will do the draw, and then I will invite someone that is live with me tonight to share the screen like MARCOS did, and I'll give 15 minutes of free consulting. Okay, so some of the questions that I received during the workshop, even though the workshop just started Sunday, but I received already quite a few questions. Probably not going to be able to answer all of them tonight. That's why I'm doing another session on Thursday. So if you're not chosen tonight for the free consulting, Thursday evening, I'm going to have another interview with Andre Lopez, a civil engineer validated as well, and I'm going to give away another 15 minutes of free consulting. And next week, on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm also going to interview 2 engineers, and I'm going to give away also 15 minutes of free consulting. So there's a question here. I don't know if the person is live or not. He sent me the question in Portuguese, and there was a comment in Instagram to Brazilian, why you're not speaking Portuguese? Well, because when I started my project, I just started with helping Brazilian engineers, so my content was pretty much just in Portuguese. But then about a year and a half ago, I decided to do the content in English, because my idea is to reach as many people as I can with this information. And I ended up getting a lot of messages from people from India, Pakistan, Egypt, Qatar, Colombia, Philippines, Indonesia, Argentina, Venezuela, Chile. So I decided to Portugal. So I decided to do the content just in English. I know that some of you may not have your English very good still, but I think it's very important for you to start training your listening, because you will need, for those ones that are planning to validate your engineering qualification, English, you need to provide a proficient level. All right, so this question here, it's from a mechanical engineer that he says that he's got more than 40 years of experience in construction management in Brazil. Sorry. And he's asking, what's the chance to recognize his qualification in this area? Well, when you have that many experience, you probably will be able to select just three experiences in your career that will address all the competencies required by Engineers Australia. So if you have, in this person here, got more than 40 years of experience as a civil engineer, he'll certainly be able to recognize his qualification. And he's saying that he's a little bit afraid about the age, but he's got already a permanent residency. So to validate your qualification, there's no limit in age. Last week, I've interviewed Guilherme, a mechanical engineer, and he's 65, I think, 65 years of age. So, and he was validated this year. So there's no limitation in terms of age. And Guilherme, the mechanical engineer that I interviewed last week, he's also a permanent resident already. So is there any limitation of age to get a job? Well, there are some types of job. If you have to do physical labor, you probably have to do some medical examinations and you may not pass. But other than that, in terms of working as an engineer, Australia values a lot the experience, and there are lots of engineers here that they're still working after 50, 60, 70, maybe 80 years of age. So there's market to everybody. Obviously, it can get a little bit more difficult, but the market is still there. The other question that I received was somebody from Brazil as well. Is there a possibility to validate the qualification even if I never worked in the area in Brazil? So that's an engineer that graduated and never worked as an engineer in Brazil in this case. So is it possible to recognize the qualification? And the answer is yes. You can recognize still your qualification even though you never worked as an engineer, because Engineers Australia does not require work experience. You can use, as part of your career episodes, you can use your academic engineering experience. Hi, Gerson, but you're talking about career episodes. I don't understand this. What is that? I'm just going to copy here. If you don't know what I'm talking about in terms of career episodes, in terms of summary statement, in terms of continuing professional development, I'm going to paste the link of the workshop website. I'm actually going to show you guys, because then you can watch the video and you will learn everything about the validation process. So this is the workshop website, engqualvalworkshop.com. Obviously stands for Engineering Qualification Validation Workshop.com. And here you will find everything. Yesterday I released video number 1. There is video in English and in Portuguese. Those ones in Brazil, you can go to Portuguese here and then it translates the website to Portuguese. I believe it does. And then transforms the time also in Brasilia time. So the calendar becomes Brasilia time, so you don't miss out the events. So, but there's a video in English, there's video in Portuguese, and in video number 1, I speak about the opportunity of life transformation and the validation pathways and the CDR steps. And you can also participate in the WhatsApp group. So if the emails are not reaching your inbox, if you go to WhatsApp group, then I also send in the group, that's a workshop group, the links to the emails. And you can put some comments there if you want to make some comments. All right. Just go back to my notes. And the other question that I received was, is it too difficult to validate without experience in the area? Well, that's similar to the question before. You don't really need to have work experience. You can validate just using your academic engineering experience. Obviously, it needs to be matching with the definition of the ANZ SEO, the Australian New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupation definitions. So, as Marcos was saying during the interview, there are a few things that engineers they do in their home country that they are not considered to be, let's say, the engineer job here in Australia. So that's very critical to choose the right experience. Sorry, guys. And then I received quite a few questions from people that they're not here in Australia. They are in their home country. I received messages from people from Colombia, from Indonesia, Philippines, from Brazil, Argentina. And they're asking that they are just in the beginning of the process and they are not ready yet for the validation. So they were asking me that apart from my mentoring program for the validation process, if I have anything for them to prepare themselves, because they are engineers, obviously, and they want to plan and they want to prepare themselves for the validation process, perhaps in 2 years' time. They're thinking that perhaps in 2 years' time, they're going to come to Australia and they're going to start their validation process. But they are already conscious that they need to do something now in this 2 years time. So when they start the validation process, it's going to be much easier. So for those ones that are still in Brazil or Colombia or Philippines or India or Argentina, Portugal, whatever, and you're not ready yet to validate, but you want to prepare yourself, next week on Tuesday during the Instagram live session, I'm going to tell you what you need to do or what you can do to start preparing. So come back Tuesday next week. Okay. So now I'm going to do the draw. I believe that I gave already enough time for you guys. And I will just share the screen. Yeah, I've got few comments there. So hopefully this will work. I think it will work, hopefully. So you guys can probably see my screen. I'm going to just refresh. So, so you guys can see that. Pretty sure that you guys can see my screen with the post. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the post. That's this one here. And then it will load up the post. And I will draw somebody. So it's going to load the comments. So these are the people that made the comment. And then I will click the button and it will choose somebody. So run the drums. The first draw was comment number 1 from Daudio. You will need to submit a competency demonstration report CDR assessment. That is the right answer. And he marked somebody. He marked Eliane Silva 87. So Daudio, I don't know if Daudio is online, because you need to be online, because if you're not online, you cannot participate in the live session. So Daudio, if you are online, send me a direct message, please. Because if you're not online, I will have to draw somebody else. So I don't believe that Daudio is online. Yes, I don't believe that Daudio is online. Yeah, I don't believe he is. So give another 10 seconds. And yes, I don't believe Daudio is online, so I will draw again. So unfortunately, Daudio missed out. All right, so how do I do that again? Here, do another one. So I will do another one. Let's say. So let's say the second winner was DS Marques Fabio. Apply under the CDR competency demonstration report. And Fabio marked D. Luiz. All right. DS Marques Fabio. Are you there? DS. Just checking. DS Marques Fabio. If you are live, send me a direct message, please. I know that you were in the beginning of the live session. I don't know if you still are. And you need to be. You are here. All right. So what I'll do. Just a second, Fabio. I will send you a direct message in Instagram. So I will DS Marques Fabio. Next. I will send you the link. I will send you the link for you to join my Zoom session. I just sent you the link. I'll see your name. What's your name? Fabio Marques. I just sent you the link, Fabio, and got it. So let's see if that's going to work. So once you join, I can then accept you in the Zoom, and we can have a quick chat. So for those ones so for those ones that they were not chosen, don't go away, because tomorrow morning I will post this picture here, 15 minutes of free consulting, and that is from video number 2 that I'm going to release tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning about 9 a.m. I'm going to release video number 2, and I'm going to talk about the top 7 mistakes and top 7 questions about the validation process. And I'm going to give also 6 practical examples of continuing professional development. And this post that I'm going to do tomorrow, you just need to name one common mistake within the career episodes. So I'm going to do similar things. I'm going to ask you to like the post, write the answer in the comments, and also mark somebody. And then on Thursday evening, after the interview, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to get somebody from those ones that answer the question, and I'm going to do the draw, and I'm going to invite to be live with me. So, yeah, well, yeah, Fabio entered. Good. I think it is working. So let's get him here. He's going to join soon. And his question could be your question as well. So it's very important that you stay here. You can listen to Fabio's question and obviously my answer. And then because it could be your question as well. Fabio, I think you're still muted. You probably just need to unmute. Can you hear me? I'm going to ask you to unmute. Can you? Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
This opportunity.
No, that's all right. Thank you for one, participate in the live session, and two, to participate in the post. Thank you very much. And yeah, nice to meet you. So tell me a little bit about you. Are you what sort of engineer are you?
I'm civil engineer.
You're my colleague.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where are you living today?
I'm living in Brisbane at the moment.
In Brisbane. Me too.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in
I
Brisbane?
thought you were from Gold Coast.
All right. Yeah.
I thought you were from Gold Coast.
No,
so
I'm in Brisbane.
In Brisbane.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. What suburb do you live?
I'm in Everton Park.
Everton Park.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I live in Hendra. But
it's a little bit close.
Yeah, but next week we sold the house and we're moving next week. I'm going to Lutwyche, which is going to be very close to your suburb. Yeah.
It is very good suburb.
Yeah. All right. All right, Fabio. What's your question? How can I help you?
The first question, Johnson, is about your mentoring program.
Yep.
What the subjects you cover in it? Yes.
Well, I could stay here 1 hour, 2 hours talking about the mentoring program. It's quite an extensive program. I'm going to talk very briefly because I'm going to explain about the mentoring next Sunday. But it's a step-by-step. I cover since the beginning. I cover what is competency. I talk about the code of ethics of Engineers Australia, and then I have one module for each of the 16 competencies. So all the 16 competencies I cover in one module each. I give a lot of examples. If you did that, you can use in this competency. If you did this other thing, you can use in another competency. Okay. There's all the planning and organization about your experience, so you can take notes. I help you. I've got a tool there to help you to choose the right experience to use in your career episode. I have many tutorial videos about how you should be writing your summary statement and everything else. So it's 25 modules in total. Okay. Almost more than 9 hours of content just in the classes. And then I've got a VIP group in Telegram where just my students, they have access. They ask questions and I answer the questions. I've got catch-up sessions with my students. It's a lot of things in the mentoring program. Yeah. But I'm going to give more details on Sunday. Yeah.
Cool, thanks. Yeah. And do you do like personal mentoring, like
one-on-one,
chats 1-by-1, yeah, or just recorded the class?
Yeah, it is mainly in group. One, because I work full time, and I don't really have enough time to dedicate. If somebody wants one-on-one, obviously they want time. And unfortunately, time for me is a bit complicated. And I'm not going to commit myself, let's say, Fabio, all right, I'll give you a one-on-one consultancy. And then when you need me, I'm not there because I'm busy working or I'm busy doing this project here. So that's why I did a group mentoring. Because I think, and I've got already 19, I've got many more students, but 19 students applied and all the 19 students been approved. So it's a methodology that if you follow, and I call validation formula, because I believe it's a formula. You got to follow the methodology, you got to follow the formula. And if you do that, you have very strong chances to be approved. At least so far, I've got 100% approval rate. And Marcos, he was a very good student. He followed step by step, and I was pretty sure that he was going to be approved. Yeah.
That's cool. And Justin, do you know how long does the Engineers Australia take to give you an answer about your validation?
Yeah, that's a good question, Fabio. There's actually two. There are two processes that well, I'll reframe. There are two time frames. The first one is the standard, what they call standard CDR process. So the competency demonstration report. Standard means you do everything, you apply online, you pay the fee for the assessment, and that's it. And then Engineers Australia will take some time until they allocate an assessor, and then it will take some time until the assessor finalizes your assessment. When you apply in standard, from the experience that I can see from engineers and my students that applied standard, it's taking nowadays, because COVID and everything, it's taking between 6 up to 15 weeks. So it can take, if you think that 15 weeks is almost like 3.5, 4 months to get your outcome. The other pathway or the other time frame is when you pay fast track. So you pay for your normal CDR assessment, but then there's an extra fee that Engineers Australia, they give an opportunity. If you want to have your assessment done much quicker, you got to pay fast track, which is about, I think, $300 and something. So when you do that, my students that they applied fast track, some of them, they ended up getting their outcome in 20 days. So it goes between 20 and 30 days, depending on obviously the complexity of your application. If your application is all good, it's probably going to take 20 to 30 days. If your application is not good and needs some amendments, or you need to correct something, Engineers Australia will probably give you a feedback saying that you need to fix this and need to fix that, and they're going to give you another 30 days to do it. But my experience is that once you fix it, you send it, after 1 or 2 days, Engineers Australia will give you the result, either positive or negative.
Good,
but it all depends if you pay fast track or if you don't pay fast track.
Interesting. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And I saw something about agents that can help you when I was reading the booklet. What is this agent? It's people that who work for Engineers Australia, or
no? You probably read in the red box of Engineers Australia, because it's in the section of the plagiarism. So unfortunately there are companies and there are some people that they offer service to write on your behalf, and this is classified as unethical behavior.
Yeah.
And you will, if you do that, Engineers Australia will probably catch you, and you can be banned up to 3 years. So, and that's why I teach people how to do it. I don't write on their behalf. I don't do it because obviously it's unethical behavior, but I teach how to do it. So all my students, they write their own career episodes, they write their own summary statement, they write their own CPD, and they prepare all the application by themselves. So because it's all about organizing the thinking, because all the knowledge is already with you. It's all in your head. It's just a matter of putting in the right order. So
Right.
yeah, and I shared already. I actually got a video in my YouTube channel about plagiarism and messages that I received from many engineers that they unfortunately they got caught and they asked me to help. But I said, no, if you did that, it's difficult to help because you did something that you shouldn't. People obviously, adults, they do whatever they want to do and they know the risks. So, but some people they desperate and they ended up doing the things that they shouldn't. And
Cool. Yeah. And how long is your mentoring constant program? I forgot.
Yeah, well, you have access to 1 year,
1 year
to the portal, because I know that some people they want to take their time. They start and they pause, they start again, or they go really slowly. Some people have other priorities, etc. So once you join, you have access to the course and to the mentoring for 1 year. Some people, I have one student that she had a very short time frame. She needed to apply in just 2.5 weeks, and she put aside time, and for 2 weeks she watched all the classes, she wrote everything, she did all the planning, etc. she had to do, and she applied in 2.5 weeks. She ended up getting some wrong advice from a migration agent, and when she asked for a second opinion, the second migration agent said, no, you actually can do it, but you need to apply before your visa expires, and she just had 2.5 weeks. So she was lucky that I had at that time a group open for enrollment, and she enrolled, and then she devoured everything in 2 weeks, and she managed to apply in 2.5 weeks, and she ended up being approved.
Did she get it?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she's from Adelaide. She applied as a civil engineering draftsperson, and she got validated, and she ended up getting her graduate visa later on. So it was a very good outcome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Jess. Thank you very much.
Did you work with what sort of work did you do in Brazil?
Actually, I got the degree, came to Australia.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, like 8 months later.
Yeah.
I came to Australia, so I didn't work as a civil engineer properly, but I used to work as a financial administration manager in a NGO.
Oh, all right. I see.
Yeah. And I used to work as a AutoCAD trainer.
All right.
As well. Yeah.
Good. All right then. Well, I wish you all the luck, all the best, Fabio. And again, thank you very much for participating in the workshop. Make sure that you watch the video tomorrow.
Sure.
We have another live session on Thursday. We've got the third video. The third video is quite interesting, which I'm going to release on Friday. I'm going to talk about the career episodes, how to choose the experience for the career episodes. I'm going to talk about the risks of plagiarism. and I'm going to talk about the summary statement. And also I'm going to talk about the Engineers Australia revision process if your application is not approved, what you can do to try to revert that. So that's
cool. Thank you very much.
That's the third video on Friday. And then on Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time, I'm going to do the closing webinar where I'm going to review the whole process of the validation process. I'm going to do question and answer sessions, and I'm going to explain in very details how the mentoring program is going to work. That's going to be the last group of 2021. And I'm going to explain the very special offer and the 9 bonuses that I'm going to give together with the mentoring.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you very much.
No, that's okay, Fabio. Yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, hope to see you again.
Sure, I will.
All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So I'm just going to quick double check if is there any other question in Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Yes. Yeah, Facebook is, YouTube is all good. Instagram, it's all good. No questions there. And Facebook, it's all good as well. All right. So I would like to thank you guys very much for your participation. And don't forget that tomorrow morning, I'm going to put this post here in my Instagram. And if you want to have a chance to have a 15 minutes free consulting like Fabio did tonight, you just need then to like the post, answer the question, and mark somebody. To answer the question, you have to watch video number 2 that I'm releasing tomorrow. So if you haven't registered yet to the workshop, you can register in the link that I put in the comments. If you are watching on Instagram, you can go to my bio. The link is there as well. And those ones in YouTube, the link is also in YouTube. All right, guys, I would like to thank you guys very much. And I'll see you tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. in video number 2. See ya and bye-bye.